Okay, here we go. In the sauna with Travis Tolley, right, from Virginia. Okay, and Travis is a youngin' compared to me because I'm over twice his age. But again, he's 28 coming up, right? You said?
28.
Okay, so he's at this level right now. Let me tell you, what a smart guy, because he's here right now, and he's in good shape. Okay, he's not overweight, and he's been through a lot of different protocols that most people, including myself, don't even get to maybe until you're 45 or 50. Okay, so he's ahead of the game right now. You did, are you still water fasting right now?
Yeah, I'm on day 6.
Okay, day 6. How many days do you think you're gonna?
I'm not sure. 7 to 10 is what I'm feeling.
Okay. And just to let everybody know, okay, he's up here for 21 days. I try to get people to stay minimally, because you can't get much done less than that. And you got to really go ahead and actually break down to like volunteer to do some of the most simplest things in the world is not eat. And it's the healthiest thing you can do to reset yourself. So he's on day 6 of no food. And no food meaning he's not eating anything, but he's drinking distilled water. Okay, and distilled water is a super detoxifying water. It's super dry. And so the toxins that you get out of your body when you stop eating are massive. And so most people can't even water fast for a day. So you had probably, what, turbulence in the beginning when you started?
Yeah, I think day 2 and 3 were the most difficult. I have low energy, but it's been getting better and better.
Did you have thoughts of hamburgers or hot dogs or food or just anything popping through your head, no matter if you eat it or not?
No, not until yesterday I started to do that a little bit.
And you have to sort of ask yourself why. You know, what kind of food did you have flying through your head?
Yeah, mostly avocados. That was something.
Okay, well that means you're pretty darn healthy, because most people, you know what they have, as I did. I haven't had a McDonald's hamburger for 15 years, maybe. Okay, maybe 20. But that's what I had flying through my head. Hot dogs from Sunday when I was like 12 years old, eating hot dogs on the barbecue.
Yeah, I had some pictures on my phone, and there was a picture of a biscuit that I took a picture of, Biscuit Head in Asheville, North Carolina. I was like, man, that'd be good right now.
Exactly. So, you know, what happens is that see, what he's doing right now, just to get you to know, because a lot of people goes, what the heck's he doing? He comes up here from Virginia. It means you 10-hour flight, right? 4 hours or so to...
Yeah, I actually came from Brazil, but I came from Brazil, Miami, LA, and then...
Oh, so that's talk about a trip. Yes. Okay, so, you know, what are you doing when you come here? You at least do 7 days steam distilled water to disconnect the parasitic connection that we don't even know we have. Okay, what you're wanting for food is most likely not the food that you want to eat, and it's not really what you want to eat. It's only because something inside you is actually feeding itself, and it's very hard for people to grab this. Remember, you just came back from Brazil, and you did some different journeys up there, right?
Yeah. I went to an indigenous festival with the Yawanawa in Brazil.
Excellent. And what did you do? Did you do some different types of mind expansion ceremonies there?
Yeah, every evening we would drink ayahuasca, and I stayed up with them all night, singing and dancing by the fire, kind of thing.
Nice. Okay, and what he's talking about is I just got back also from Peru, from South America, and this is the ayahuasca corazon, they call it. It's the part of the vine that makes up some of ayahuasca, most of it actually. And there's another plant they also put in called the chacruna leaf. Plant, and this is for more vision, and this is to take you into different dimensions of reality that are real. They're real. Okay, everybody gets a different picture, but when you clean your body out, this is one of the things in the future I would suggest. I'm not telling you what to do, but I would suggest, if you really wanted to reset, remember he's resetting his body right now. Okay, and how do you reset your mind? And there's lots of really good plant entheogens that are not chemicals, that are actually made to be able to dissolve a lot of different addictions, just to reprogram your mind. So there's a lot of protocols, though. You don't just take these things. You need guidance for sure, don't you?
Absolutely, yeah. You don't want to do it with just anyone.
No, and they're not recreational.
No.
They're
It
work.
couldn't be if you wanted it to be, I don't think.
Yeah.
So,
They're beyond what you would believe is work. Okay, you think digging holes is hard? These entheogens actually, because that's on your physical body, this is your mind. And your mind is feeling sometimes very weak when it loses control of its own ways. So this is something that you can't explain. There's lots of good books on a lot of the various different people that have studied entheogens, and there's ayahuasca, there's DMT, there's sassafras, there's psilocybin, there's a whole host of different types of entheogens, and each one, of course, promotes a different aspect of what I call rebuilding. As long as your body is clean enough. Your body's a church, okay? Show me your arm from the frog.
oh, yeah.
If you can see that, guys, let me show you. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And you can see that right on there, a little close up there. And explain that on how that works.
Yeah, it's the poison from a monkey tree frog. Basically, kind of how it works, they burn these areas in the skin, they apply the frog poison, and then for about 10 or 15 minutes, kind of feels like you're going through an allergic reaction type thing.
Like how?
It goes to different areas in your body. You can feel your heart pounding. Certain times I feel my heart pounding, certain times I feel blood rushing to my head.
Okay.
Other times I would feel it in my legs. And then after about 10 or 15 minutes, you purge. It can go out either way.
Every time?
I've done it 12 times, and when I did it the last time in Brazil, I didn't purge. But every other time I have been.
And what do you feel that this medicine does? Because these are medicines, guys. Okay, if they're used wrong, they're not medicines. They're sometimes more of a detriment than a positive thing. So don't play around with these things unless you're, number one, your church is clean. Okay, your body is the key to this mind, of this expansion of where you go. So think of your body as sort of like a radio station. And if he had 40 pounds of extra baggage on his body now, yeast, mold, fungus, candida, which we call body fat, a host of different creatures that live in his system, whatever they are, okay, this changes his morphogenic value, his resonance, okay, of what his body's energy is. And so when you take these entheogens, if your church, the body's not clean, then this is the layer that you're actually going to start with. You're going to get out in this layer. Okay, you're wanting to really clean up the body as much as you can. It's like before you get a professional service maybe to come into your house and clean up your house. You want to take out as much garbage as you can. Because why? Because that professional service is going to charge you an arm and a leg, and you can do a lot of stuff yourself to clean your body. So he's advanced, okay, is what I would call, because not even so much the physical things he's doing, is because he's advanced parts of his mind. And what do you feel that any of these mind expansion journeys, do they feel that they've given you any benefit at all?
Yeah, the first time I went to Brazil, I thought I got in over my head. I shouldn't have been messing with it. But after the second trip, it's just given me a new perspective on life and what it's really all about.
Not trip, journey.
Yeah,
Trip would be LSD. This is a real journey.
Yeah.
This is a shamanic journey.
Yeah. And my second trip, I was shown things. It was like very sacred, and if I shared it, it seems quite simple. But I don't know. It's just the way that I look at the world now is completely different.
That's the same with me.
Yeah.
Do you feel that you see more? You see a little more? Sometimes this is a problem, guys. If you feel everything is perfect around you, everything, then you may not want to go ahead and actually get involved with expanding your mind or your consciousness in any way. I don't care if it's meditation. And meditation, as you know, is what I would say, that's like the basic course of expanding your mind. And what I see meditation for is because when you take these different types of entheogens, you better surrender to this layer, because you're the one that volunteered to be able to activate parts of your neurons in your brain that were not activated before, and all of a sudden it takes you to wondrous places that are real, beyond what your little mind could go ahead and ever conjure up, right?
Yeah, I went through that a couple of times where I knew I was going to be shown something, but I had to kind of make a decision in the journey, and sometimes I would be a little hesitant, like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this, and I would kind of squirrel around a little bit until I was finally like, okay,
surrender. This is what I found out. I've done many mind-expanding journeys in different ways, following a lot of the ancients in their medicine expansional ways. Remember, a shaman or a woman, okay, shamaness, learns to be able to walk between layers, or some people call dimensions, or just different realities, okay, and then be able to not just see it and observe it, but in time you find out that you can actually interact with it. This layer interacts with those that realistically have cleaned their emotional house out, cleaned their physical body out. Why? Because now you're entering into a zone right now that is, they say, very sacred, and you can't talk about it because it sounds like sort of like a story that you're just making up because you did some type of drug or something, but it's not.
Yeah, I remember all I could do, like some of the things I was shown, just like lay on the ground. It's so powerful.
Overwhelming.
Yeah.
And loving at the same time, as long as you can what? Surrender.
Yeah.
And I found out, you know how you surrender? Meditation's cool. You hear everybody smile a little bit, just crack your smile. And cracking the smile and just letting yourself open up to whatever comes to you. The jaguar, like in the Amazon, comes to you, as the shaman told me. Jump into the jaguar. Okay? Why? Don't run from it. Jump into it. Remember, you're curious to find out about this creature. And you know, I sort of found out when I went to the Amazon, you know, because I got bit by the pit viper. And I just couldn't really understand why shamans would take like a drop of cobra poison and drink it in milk. Or the American Indians would put a small cut and they put small amounts of venom from the snakes, the venomous, powerful snakes. Why did they do this? And so I met a woman shaman in Peru, most beautiful lady, that this is what she does 3 times a week with people that stay up there up to 2 years and learn shamanic practices. And they teach people all along the way, from diet to a lot of these different basic things, to be able to let you be able to use ayahuasca as a medicine instead of a poison. Because you know, if you take it and you haven't really done the homework on your body, what happens when you drink the vine of the soul? You throw up a lot, purge. And as you get cleaner, it becomes more of a medicine, okay? And then, so she told me a lot of things, because there are some, I'll do some videos coming up for Earther Academy, because I don't really like to put these on YouTube. But what we want to do is share with people some of the things that we found that actually will help you traverse to this infinite layers of dimensions. And each layer has something, not to offer you like it's an informational library, but something to grow you with. So when you went to Peru or to Brazil, did the place you go to that specialized, is that what they did only? Shamanic?
No, it was just kind of being a part of the village, and you know, they call it uni. It's a little bit lighter than most ayahuasca brews, and it's quite different than most of the documentaries I've seen. Like, you sit in a dark room with a shaman, and it's kind of spooky. But this, you kind of drink and you sing and dance and play music by the fire.
It's sort of like the Santo Daime.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been a part of the Santo Daime church. I'm not an actual part of their church, but I'm a guest when I go there to use the medicine. And they sing and dance, and I'm not sure if you're familiar. And it all originates out of Brazil.
I've seen some videos of Santo Daime.
Yeah, Paulo Roberto lives in Brazil. They have a nice little colony of people that follow the doctrine of this Santo Daime to give Christ, you know, to the Daime to give Santo, to give to the saint. So, you know, and there's nothing, as you can say. Can you explain these experiences to anybody?
Yeah, right now, from my last trip, I can't even remember most of it right now. But yeah, even if I tried to, it would seem kind of silly to you know, the average person, I think.
No, exactly. It's like telling somebody about your vacation, you can only tell them bits and pieces of the physical world that actually can explain translation of voice. Because this isn't, it's like you become the slayer, don't you? You don't just enter it and look around, you become it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I felt that a lot of the stuff that I was sharing was so sacred that I shouldn't share it. And
Same with me.
There's a lot of people that talk about their experiences quite a lot and stuff like that, but I after my last experience, I'm like, I only tell certain people that I really feel comfortable with.
That's what I do. Yeah. Same. Because if not, it sounds like you did something that they did in the 60s that realistically was sort of like just because it was recreation. This, I just want to, make sure people know, there's no recreation here. Okay, this isn't something that you take and you go to a rave, okay? And especially the Peruvian brew that I took there was like syrup compared to the Santo Daime brew, which is probably like the brew maybe that you were taking in Brazil, because it comes from Brazil. They make it actually here on the Big Island. And they have I'm not sure what they call them, the different departments, not departments, but Los Angeles has a group there. They have groups all over the United States. They have one and also on the Big Island here in Honoka'a. So they have them all over, but you have to be invited to come, and you have to know what you're getting into. And the Peruvian experience, though, with the brew that I drank was the most powerful experience, most powerful. And the reason being also, just to let you know, did they tell you what the symbol is of the protector of the forest is?
No. It was quite difficult. I mean, there was one guy that was there with us that could translate, but other than that, they all spoke Portuguese.
Okay. Yes, you really did.
We didn't really get to have a lot of conversation. I did the first time that I went down with the festival. There was a lot more people there, and
so you can converse more.
Yeah.
I'm lucky because I speak Spanish. Okay, pretty good. So I didn't speak to the shaman. She speaks Spanish. She speaks a little bit of English, but it's very broken. Okay, so I can see what he's saying. And she schooled me because she knew that I have been part of the church and I've done many different entheogenic journeys. So she wanted to teach me, as she does over there, teach me the next layers. And I didn't know why, like I said before, why a lot of the shaman, once they get advanced, they put venom into their body. Even if it's any type of venom, but they want the venom of the protector of the forest, which is what, the snake.
Yeah, I would have probably said that if I had thought about it, but yeah.
Yeah. And so when you see their big, beautiful artistical embroidery that they do and paintings that they do, they feel that the ayahuasca, because all the people that I was there with, all of them were fantastic creative artists, drawing the most fantastic. I bought 3 paintings from them and maybe 10 embroidered pieces of art, big 6 foot by 8 foot. Must have took them a month and a half to do. Patience, and not only that, the beauty of the icoros, the songs that they sing, and you can see how they do it. The tricuno plant, the ayahuasca plant, and just the 2 big snakes that cross each other in the center, which is the center, and so just to get back real quick here, and I'm just waiting just to get a little bit softer, and then we're going to jump into part 2. Part 2, I'll tell you what we're going to do with Travis, because he's more advanced, and he's been playing with himself in the sauna. Not like you think, but he's been playing with himself because he's got bruises all over his body, and he's really opened up stuff. But let me just finish this one little piece, because I really don't like to talk about mind expansion, okay? But this is part of the game here to live on the planet, is not only evolve the body, and you can't evolve the body unless you sort of involve the mind, so you can evolve. So they did a lot of the venoms that they put inside them so they could have some of the vibrational morphogenic value of the forest spirit that protects the most, as they said, the most, and all I can say is that there's nothing to say because you have to experience it, but there's a lot to say because I can't explain it. But this layer is not even ominous, it's just powerful beyond relief. And not everybody gets a chance to get to these layers. Remember, there's 15 different layers for me to be able to get to this layer, and the reason being why it takes me to this layer too is because of a lot of different factors. But once you get into that layer, just because you see and observe this layer where this layer of energy lives, How about would you like to have that energy crawl inside you? And that's why they do the snake venom, the serpent venom, is because now they have it through their blood. And now they are honored if this creature would actually enter into them, as it did to me for an hour and a half. That was an experience. Like I said, like you said, there's nothing to say. And to be able to not only see this dimension and feel it, but to be able to become part of it is a humbling experience, but also a very honored experience, as the shaman has told me. She says that happens very few people, but this is the reason why they take the snake venom, to see if they could coalesce with the protector of the forest. And we get scared of that word called the serpent. But you notice there are serpents on everything. Adam and Eve, okay? The serpents that go up and down the caduceus of the medical, pharmacological, okay? Their logo, the two snakes. You'll see the snakes everywhere. Mayans, the Egyptians, okay, the cobras, okay? This is part of what I would see as the secret to entering into these layers, is to follow some of this deep, ancient knowledge and wisdom. And as you enter into these realms, I can concur with Travis. It changes your life, doesn't it?
Yeah. You know, like, again, the first couple of times I was like, I'll never do this again. But it's been the best decision I've ever made in my life to go down and partake in that.
How long did you stay there for?
I've been a week each time.
And you drank every day you were there?
I've drank a total of 8 times now. Yeah.
Okay. And then the frog medicine? And that's, remember, this is the bufo frog. We have them all over Hawaii here. It's a frog that has these little bumps on its back. And this venom, it could be different ones too, but this is the one I'm familiar with. They call it the frog medicine. And it's a whole different, each one has their whole different layer of not only detoxifying you, but rebuilding you. Okay, psilocybin detoxifies you and rebuilds you. So does ayahuasca. So does sassafras in different ways. But they have to be used in ways that make sense. So did you notice that each time, remember, the colors that you see in the beginning, okay? You start to go ahead and see whatever the next layer, and then the next layer, and the next layer. And all I can say, remember, when you go into these layers, it's not just the layer that you see, because a lot of people can drink ayahuasca or do any entheogens, and their pineal gland is solidly shut with crystallization of fluoride. Remember, there is a reason why there's fluoride in everything, because this is your interdimensional gland. And in order to really get benefit out of any of these entheogens, you really got to do the homework. Okay, balance yourself as much as you can before you go there. If not, you'll enter into a dimension. Don't worry. You may get back something, as you see a lot of people come back with things that actually make them more dysfunctional than functional. So don't play around with this unless your body and your experience is under a guidance of ones that really know, not some wannabe, but ones that really, this is their life.
Yeah, it's definitely not something to play around with, and it's certainly, I've noticed in the little time that I've kind of been involved with it, it's kind of becoming a fad of sorts, and it's definitely not too dangerous for it to become anything like that.
All I can say is, you don't have fun. The Daime calls it a work.
Yeah.
Because it is work, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, and it often, I was watching a documentary last night, it often takes a while of drinking it to actually have these experiences. And they were talking about different shamans, how they're mixing the brew with this plant called toei or something like that. Mm-hmm. And they're doing that because when people come down there, they expect to have visions. They've paid all this money to come have this wonderful experience, and so this mixture that they put together, it's actually killed an individual. So there's just a lot of stuff like that you have to be aware of, and you just have to go on its time, not your time. That's the
and you should be using the brews that have been used for thousands of years, not a new concoction. See, this is a big problem, okay, too. Your pineal gland is the seat to your interdimensional world. It is the seat that lets you. It's not your pineal gland, remember, that's you can call it that, the pine gland, the pineal. It's shaped like a pine cone, and it's situated right between the hemispheres, okay, and this gland is the largest statue in the front of the Vatican. If you look that up, largest statue in the front of the Vatican is a pineal gland. And you'll look it up that this gland, if you look up David Wilcox's work on the pineal gland, this is well known. You'll see the Sumerians holding the pine cone, into people's heads. Why? Those that control the pituitary gland control the pineal gland, these glands, the master glands. You control the world of them. Okay, remember, there is other worlds here. And when we dream at night, our pineal gland has to work. And you'll notice most people don't have dreams anymore. It's because they're not secreting DMT, which is a natural substance. Let me just let you know. Okay, it's the same with cannabis or tobacco. If they're done right, they are also entheogens. In fact, the Santo Daime calls, before you drink the vine of the soul, they suggest that you practice a little bit with organic tobacco to be able to feel that, not to smoke it every day, but to be able to feel its essence, to open up a part of your mind, to build the neural net, okay, to expand, and also to smoke small amounts of Santa Maria, the mother of Mary, okay, the saint of Mary. And then you're possibly ready for something that most likely you'll never be ready for, wouldn't you think?
Yeah. I couldn't have ever imagined. You know, my view of when I first went down the first time to Brazil was I was going to go down, have some wonderful experience, and I was going to go home and live life and enjoy life. And I was completely shown I had received nothing like that.
Yeah. Yeah, so don't think just because you do this you're going to get enlightened. Okay, in fact, what will happen is you'll start to go through the metamorphosis. You'll start to get a little bit just like the caterpillar before it's called the metamorphosis. The caterpillar is a destructive animal. It doesn't even know it itself. Remember, we call this idea or parable earthlings. We're like the caterpillar. And the caterpillar, actually, once it becomes evolved a little bit, it makes a cocoon. And it dissolves its DNA, dissolves it. This is the surrendering of ayahuasca. This is the surrendering of these entheogens. You have to dissolve the self that you think you are, okay? And then you will emerge, as it does, into another rebuilt being called the butterfly, which sees more connection. This is the biggest thing it's done to me. It's let me connect into everything and everything. Nature world, the wind is not wind anymore, it's spirit. The sun is not just some ball of light. No. That's why the ancients call it Amun-Ra, the sun god, Helios Investus, okay? The I am that I am. So you become connected to nature. You don't really want to kill anything anymore. Why? It's because I don't need to. It doesn't make sense to you right now. But as you rebuild your connections between both hemispheres, the first thing that you have to do, remember, is open up the pineal gland and stop putting fluoride in your body. Okay, remember, fluoride is everywhere. It's in diet pills, it's in new car smell, it's in bottles, it's in your water supply. Okay, it's in when you go to the dentist, they put it in there for fluoride. Remember, it's sodium fluoride, it's not calcium fluoride. And it goes right to the pineal gland and crystallizes it. And in fact, this is one of the x-rays that they do on even 30-year-old people now, which is incredible, that you can see their pineal gland, and they're checking to see if there's any disturbance between the left and right hemispheres, pushing the gland over to looking for a tumor because they have headaches all the time. So there's lots of work to do before you play around with entheogens, okay? And knowing that you have to clean the body up. Like I said, we're going to work on him, and then we're going to go to part 2 now. We're going to work.
Important reminder: all information and ideas are for informational purposes only and are in no way intended as medical advice or as a substitute for medical counseling. Earthshift Products, Dr. Robert Cassar, all of their partners, affiliates, and subsidiaries will not be held accountable for the use or misuse of the information presented therein. This information is not intended as medical advice. The authors, publishers, and speakers of this work are not medical doctors and do not recommend the use of mineral-deficient foods, drugs, or medicines, to achieve beauty and to alleviate health challenges. Because there is always some risk involved, all persons involved with the development and distribution of this information are not responsible for any adverse effects or consequences of any kind resulting from the use or misuse of any suggestions or procedures described on our website or Earth Shift Live radio talk show or therein.